suppose to go back to what the beginning is, or my beginning as an artist, I guess I remember my early days when I used to see things in the park. I grew up in a bushland setting. So in that regards, I was able to observe things. There was magpies in the trees, there was possums, there was sounds, there were smells, there were things happening that meant a lot to me. But as we grow older, we tend to sort of lack that storage capacity, if you like. We tend to not observe these things like we did as children. We sometimes go away and sit on the seaside or the mountains and just meditate for a second and say, oh, that was good. And then we're back to our mundane world. So I guess the greatest advice would be just to take a moment, as they say, to stop and smell the roses. Stop and take in the light, take in the beauty of the trees moving, the sense of the day. And then with that, make mental notes or make physical notes, make sketches, put down things that you see that you wouldn't normally in that average day see, things we just pass by. And by taking notes, you start to get to that deeper level or sense of what is happening around us. And that is probably the beginning of what art is. It's seeing beyond looking. That would be the probably best answer. Yes, as I say, the bottom line is we need to look below the surface, to look at what's going on underneath. When we get out of bed, the first thing we tend to do, and we're all guilty, is we look at the news. Now the news is never good. They don't sell, as I say, newspapers or television news articles with good news. But I find if I come to my studio here and I've just observed the beauty, we've just come into spring, and if you just spend a minute looking at the colours and the bird life and understand that there's so much beauty around us that it pales into insignificance, the actual news. It'll always be miserable and negative. Anyway, what I tend to do with my practice is I use simple tools of pen and ink. This is a special pen of mine. I bought this in Venice, a bit nostalgic, and this is some Venetian ink. So I use those, but basically I make notes. I make notes as I go. I've always got my little visual diary. Even just having a coffee at a cafe, and just observing the different people walking by. This is actually a travel log. This diary. It was this one's in Florence. I was fortunate a couple of years ago to travel to Florence, and to see things is one thing, but to actually draw it goes below the surface, and we start to see things in that scene that we may not normally see. And I always encourage people not to so much buy postcards as to just draw things that are happening on their journeys, and that way it'll be deep-seated in their consciousness. This is a funny little day, going down through the streets of, I think it was in Rome, and the taxi driver, there was bodies going everywhere. There was people running. There were these little Vespas, motorcycles, just crisscrossing in front of us. So I was just sitting there doodling, and I'll always remember that by not just seeing it, but being part of that little drawing. I just had a great time. So what I've been doing with my practice is using drawing to investigate things that aren't seen, the things we miss. And I've been working on a series, the scene, if you like, SCE&E, the scene and the unseen. And this is sort of the product of, in this drawing here, if we look carefully, there's a bronze-winged pigeon. Now the bronze-winged pigeon is prevalent all over Australia, and I find pigeons are amazing, going right back to the mythology, and but more so today I'm finding if we look for a bronze-winged pigeon, we'll only see it when it goes bang, it just flies and flutters away. But what we tend to look for is the grandiose panorama of things. We don't get inside what is actually happening, whether it be little insects or shapes on the ground, or as I say in this instance, is using this metaphor in my drawing with the bronze wing and the things we don't see. And that's basically my art practice at present. It's the things we miss. And I just encourage anybody to always carry a visual diary and make marks. Just doodle. It doesn't matter if they're little doodles, little stick creatures, stick men. Just do it, and you'll find the memory keeps you buoyed, and you remember those things, and they'll mean more to you.